Daniel's our.
We're live.
We are.
We are live. We Miles is our producer. He's the. Just act like just make
When
sure.
you're live, that means quiet on the set.
That's right. Miles is in the house, so we are live right now. Let me see where we're at. Okay.
Yep.
Miles, awesome. Great job.
Okay, there we are. There we are.
Look at you, Terry Bentley
All right,
Hill.
here we go.
It was disconnected though. Someone somehow must have.
They're after us. They're doing it to us.
They love that.
They're doing it to us.
All right, now I get to share.
Yeah, when something like that happens, we can't fix it. We don't know.
Hey,
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
thank you so much, Miles.
No.
Thank you, Miles.
No, thank you.
You just
Miles, thank you that the Cowboys are winning.
Yeah, because I just,
It's all about you,
That's
dude.
why I lift all those weights. That's
Yeah.
why I do those extra reps.
I tell you, it's a radio show.
That's right. It's the radio show.
And this Facebook and
Hello, Higgy.
inspiring
Good to
Hello.
see you.
Hi,
There's
Higgy.
Higgy.
Hi, Higgy.
it was over there.
Hey, Higgy, I love what you're posting lately.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm using it. Hope you don't mind.
No, he don't mind. He forgets about it anyways. Let's see. Joe Russo said hello, Terry.
Hi, Joe. Hey, Joey, how are ya?
Joe Russo.
Yeah.
Hello, Tank Miller. I see y'all, everybody getting on. I appreciate everyone. Julie, thank you for sharing this out. Alma, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing this out. John, thank you for sharing this out. Everybody who is sharing this out. This is what Cynthia taught me. Don't tell people to share. Thank them for sharing it out.
That's
So
right. Don't tell them.
Hey, Joe Russo, thank you for sharing this out. That share button in the bottom corner, hit that share button on your timeline. That way, for the one who might be suffering tonight, gets to hear this message. Thank you, Joe. M2. Thank you, Higgy.
Okay, so now there we go.
All right, here we go.
Do I just hit there? No.
Post. Hit post.
There.
There you go. You're on. Here we go. Let's have a good show. Dear God, we love you. We invite you in this show. We ask you to put the words in our mouth for the one who is suffering. And we know people are suffering this time of year. Please use us, God. Let us get out of the way so we can be a vessel for you. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Michael and I want to hear from you guys.
Yes.
We want your messages. We want your hope. We want your love. We want to hear from you.
All right, Sally Long, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Hi,
I see y'all
sweetheart.
getting on here.
Hi,
Everybody's
sweetheart.
getting on here.
I love you too.
In a full studio.
I'm about to cry that you're watching.
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna.
I may already cry.
We're not even on the air yet, and you're already crying. Come on, Terry.
Sally, last time I cried through half the show.
There's Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I owe you a phone call. I have not forgotten. I have been pinned wide open. I love coming on this because people who called me, I haven't called back yet. I'll call you back.
Yeah, that's right. You can just tell them.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, fashion star for 2019.
I know. Hi, Elizabeth.
There's that Carter Ranton dude watching. My man, Sea-Dog. My man, 100 grand. That's stuck. Andrew Hager, did you see us in his basement?
I love Andrew Hager.
That Kentucky
That's
man.
his basement?
That is yes you do. Elizabeth, I'm gonna call you. Elizabeth's a little beast. She's awesome.
Oh, I think Andrew, I
he's
love you. I
awesome.
think about Brittany.
Did you see
you're
the
my
picture
pal.
of the wall?
Yeah.
The wall.
It just takes my breath away.
Yeah. But he is this is from the mom today.
Oh, I love it.
Wow, that's great. God's good.
Hi, Paula. I hope Paula's watching.
Mama P will be watching. Mama
Good.
P will be watching. I talked to her. She is on the gas. It's holiday time. Mama P don't play. Mama P don't play.
No, she doesn't.
I got actually I did a screenshot for Good News Dallas. Is that what we're doing? Is that
Dallas doing good.
Dallas Doing Good is in the studio today, writing a story about Terry Bentley Hill and I on Dallas Doing Good.
Shout out to our
Man, that
Mary
feels
Martin
good.
and Jan Osborne.
My daughter and a client got saved in the last 10 days.
Oh, wow.
That's right. She texted me, Elizabeth, I promise I'm going to call you. I have just
Praise God
Yes.
there, Elizabeth.
Casey, how you doing, my friend? What it do? What it be? It's so funny. Every once in a while, I get someone on here who says, "What's up, Rabbit?" Those if someone
This is
says,
Talk Radio 1190, Dallas-Fort Worth's place to talk.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station or iHeartMedia.
Whoa!
8 letters. 1 meeting.
got shot.
Let's go.
Came a long way sitting in the prison, thinking it was the only place that ever fitted. Now Michael Molthan with us, and you know we got the vision. This is not a competition,
What
man.
did
It's all
y'all
about the
say?
mission. This is M to the rock. The rock, it don't stop. The show start on the weekday right at 7 o'clock. Man, Miles in the booth. We got Johnny on sound. Coach Julie, the boss lady, let him know what's going down. This is M to the rock. The
Holy
rock, it don't
smokes,
stop.
I
The
broke
show
the
start on the
earphones.
weekday right at 7 o'clock. Got the paparazzo. Call him Danny Cambo with the picture. Can't pick every one of them is gold. If there one young lady that wants you to be free, everybody say it with me. Love you, Mama P.
Thank you.
Love you, Mama P.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Gather round, gather round, gather round, clowns. Michael Molthan, M2 The Rock Radio. We're coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. The iHeart Radio studio, the 3rd floor, overlooking the Galleria, overlooking the Dallas North Tollway. Real quick, traffic report. Traffic report. We left the helicopters parked to save. We're going to stay green tonight.
We are?
Yes. Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Good old Dallas.
Thank you, Miles. Miles, the helicopter. Miles, we got major traffic out there. It is bumper to bumper. Woo! We almost had to call a paramedic. We almost lost the official defense criminal attorney of M2 The Rock Radio. Somebody had the volume up on her headphones
Yeah.
real loud. I would have never have done that.
Can you believe
If you're listening on iHeartRadio right now, when you get home, make sure you go to M2 The Rock Facebook page and watch the live feed and watch Terry Bentley Hill looking all Gucci and fine and stuff. Absolutely jump out of her skin.
I'm going to file for disability here.
I will, if you'll split it with me, I'll plead guilty.
Golly. I
I
got to be
still
able to
got
hear
that
my
criminal
clients.
mind.
I know. I got to be able to hear my clients, Michael.
Oh, that was funny. All right, welcome to the show. If you're joining us for the very first time on iHeartRadio, if you're joining us for the first time on M2 The Rock Radio Facebook Live, what do we talk about on this show? I'm going to tell you. We talk about drug addiction. We talk about alcoholism. We talk about hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And we talk about the things that baffled me in my life, okay? And I use this show, it's a safe place, number one. This
Right.
show is not a place where we put our resentments up on stage. This is not a show where I'm going to get even. This show is solution-based. And this show, we provide spiritual solutions for human problems, okay? Because human solutions to human problems, I'm in the penitentiary,
Right.
okay? I'm talking behind the glass for real. This show is brought to you by DFW Coin and Jewelry. That's DFW Coin and Jewelry. Fashion Stars for a Cause. We got to jump in there and do that. March 29th.
Ninth, right.
What is Fashion Stars for a Cause?
Fashion Stars for a Cause is the main fundraiser for the Suicide and Crisis Center of North Texas, and you've got to go. It is an incredible event. We have 12 wonderful people in the community who are raising money, raising awareness for suicide prevention, suicide awareness. Michael and I are going to MC, and it's going to be a great night. We hope that you'll join us, but mainly we need the money because we have 3 main services at the Suicide Crisis Center, and that is to help teenagers, to help survivors of suicide, which I am one. I'm a survivor with a capital S.
Yes, you are.
And also then we have the Suicide 24/7 crisis line.
That's excellent. So I'm so excited. It's kind of a monumental date for me because that's really kind of our 1-year anniversary. You and I met.
It is.
And I'm really excited to be a part of that. We've got our table. We were at an event the other night, and M2381 with Mama P. We got our table. We bought our table, so we are ready to go. We have a guest, Paul, one of the owners of Recovery Unplugged from Miami, is flying in and going to be a guest at our table.
Awesome.
So Recovery Unplugged, the owner of Recovery Unplugged, he's going to be flying in, and stay tuned. We got more news on Recovery Unplugged next week. Before we get started, I've got to tee up this week real quick. Tomorrow, if y'all heard that opening song, our opening song, which was written and produced and sang by B. Rain, Rim 1, and a new addition, Joe Nestor. They will be flying in town, Miles. They'll be here tomorrow. So you got, and you haven't met Joe yet, have you?
No.
Okay, so Joe Nestor is the new addition.
Thursday night will be the opening show.
That's correct.
Because
So
tomorrow we have a Texas Tech basketball game.
get your guns up. Get your
guns up.
guns up. So Texas Tech basketball tomorrow night. But this show is produced by the great Daniel Miles.
Yeah, you were saying earlier there are, spiritual solutions for human problems. Well, I am the human problem for the technical, or a human problem. I am the human solution for the technical problem you had last night.
We thank you so much.
But,
And
Lord Jesus Christ, please stand by.
Oh, man, we're rubbing off on you, Miles.
But just I don't know if he's a lefty or righty, but, just
Stand by.
keep that wing warmed up.
Man, I am so glad that you said that because that's what we talk about in this show. We talk about that G thing.
I do.
We do talk about that
Yeah.
G thing. We talk about God
Did
on
that
this
just
show.
come out of my mouth?
You said Jesus Christ. Mark
Yes.
that.
Wow.
Mark that time. Carter,
Wow.
mark that down. Okay? We're going to post. This is a monumental time.
And
So.
it wasn't a Jesus Christ.
No, that was a good Jesus.
Yeah.
That was sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah, that was a gosh darn go to heck.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. So we need to get some work done here, and we got some good stuff. So if y'all are just joining us, Terry Bentley Hill, criminal defense attorney here in Dallas, and we were just doing an interview with Doing Good Dallas. I've already forgot.
Dallas Doing Good.
Dallas Doing Good. I'm not used to saying
I'll
doing
keep
good.
you straight.
Are you reading that in the mirror?
Well, I
Just kind of flip that thing.
I am the author of Doing Bad Dallas, okay? That's the old me, Doing Bad Dallas,
Right.
okay? Not no more.
That's
Not
why
no
Mary's
more.
back in here talking to you because you're
Man,
good.
we doing good up in her.
That's right.
So, but anyway, so Terry, we had a really good conversation on the phone, and by the way, I need to. Andrew Hager from Andrew Hager Live said hello.
Hi, Andrew.
And we talked about you a lot in Kentucky because it was really neat seeing the monumental wall for his daughter. And man, he loves
Brittany,
you. And it's
I love
neat.
him too.
You are really making a movement across the country through this show. A lot of people, when I get face to face with them when I land, they always ask about the people in the studio, Carter and John, Julie, Mama P, of course. We
Right.
love you, Mama P. I know she's watching.
Always.
And but they always ask about Terry Bentley Hill, Miles, Danny Campbell, the official
Right.
paparazzo of Into the Rock Radio. But you have really touched Andrew Hager. You and him have got a neat bond when he was here in town.
Yes.
And he told me to tell you hello.
Well, it started when I saw his video where he so honestly and just heartfelt spoke of his daughter Brittany and who died of an overdose, and it just broke my heart. And yet also he like I hope that I am doing and what you're doing is we're making something positive out of something tragic.
That's right. And truly, I mean, God really takes our mess, a mess like me, and turns it into a ministry.
Right.
And just it's really cool because just this weekend, a good friend of mine who's here in the studio today, we talked to a family member of his in a hotel doing what we do,
Yeah.
in the madness. And that was me. And what's so neat about that is that people don't realize this, Terry, that when someone's reaching out to me, when they reach out to you for help, which you have these experiences, we talked about that today, what's actually happening is this person helped me, and that's what happens is they're helping me. And I was at a hospital this morning, and I thought about you a lot this morning because this mom and this grandmother and this father, okay, the mom and dad are divorced. Okay, but the son is in this hospital room. It's so beautiful to see everybody pulling together, putting their differences aside, and let's get into the solution.
Right.
Their solution was simply just listening to every single word that was coming out of my mouth. From me, this con artist, this guy that was just a wreck, now God's using me to save people's lives? What? And
I
that's
know.
all over the country. It's just not me.
Yeah, you have an audience that's, wouldn't you say, international as well.
Yeah, it is.
You've been contacted by folks from
Australia. We
Yeah.
had a guest from Australia coming in January, so
Right.
it's amazing.
Somebody told me after I told my story, I was telling him my story, and he was a spiritual person, obviously, and he said, Terry, you can't have a testimony without a test. He said, so you just embrace that test, and you keep speaking your truth and telling your story, and it'll be testimonial.
Right. So anyway, so we're talking about Terry Bentley Hill, suicide survivor. Real quick, Terry, for the rest of this segment, let's reintroduce yourself like we always do for the newcomer. Suicide survivor, what does that mean?
Well, a suicide survivor, when someone takes their life, at least 18 people are directly affected by that suicide. Well, that's me. In 1995, my husband, after years of struggling with alcohol and alcoholism, he suffered from depression as well. Unfortunately, things were going just down the tube for him: job, relationships, our family, our marriage. And he, for whatever reason, his solution that night was to take his life. And that was one of the most, there was a nuclear explosion that went off inside of me,
Right.
because I didn't understand alcoholism, I didn't understand depression, I didn't speak the language, I didn't know that some of the comments that he made all through our marriage would have been a red flag, because I didn't know the language of depression. And I certainly didn't know anything about alcoholism, because I didn't tell anyone about it, because we had to live in secret and in shame and behind closed doors. And he was a public official, and I was afraid to tell anybody because I was afraid I would ruin his career.
Right.
So we were trapped in this silence and in this secrecy, and we just all got sicker. And when I say all, it's a family disease, and he was drinking more and more, and I was just getting sicker and sicker, and my daughters were affected by this. And nine years later, my 14-year-old daughter also took her life. She suffered from depression, and so I am a survivor.
You are a survivor, and you are helping and saving lives today. And we come back, that's what we're going to do.
Right.
Michael Molthan, M2 The Rock Radio, in studio. My girl, Terry Bentley Hill. All right, my girl. All right. What do you think, B?
Love it. Love it. I'm so sorry to hear.
No, thank you.
Can't imagine.
Well,
And that's one thing that we're facing now. With you mentioned my nephew in and out of rehab. Just, I mean, it would take me all night long to tell the story.
Yeah.
He's attempted to take his own life. We think it was just a plea, like a detention grab.
right.
But he's holed up in a motel right now. Just blazed out of his mind.
I'm
We can role
so
play.
sorry.
We can role play that.
Yeah.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
texting us even tonight that his goodbyes, and so it's one of those, you know, if you don't do anything at all and he does it, then how do you really yourself?
Right.
So it's
Right. I'm so sorry, Brian. I had no
surely
idea.
coincidental, but surely coincidental, but this particular segment like resonates. I mean, it's hitting home.
Hey, Judge.
We have
Yeah.
judges watching the show.
Yeah.
Judge. All the judges watch the show. Dominique Collins, all the judges watch our show, and it's funny when we walk into the courthouse.
Yeah.
I'll walk in with Terry Bentley Hill, and they're all like going, M2, all the bailiffs, and Terry's like going, what's going on
Yeah,
here?
they'll say, you know, this guy by the name of M2 was asking about you. Yeah, and I'm like, I know who M2 is.
Oh, it's funny. So I love the place that I hated to go. I love going down there and hanging out. So it's fun. It's fun. It's just great to go down there.
Well, and you've been in evolution.
Oh.
You have truly. He used to freak out over the very smallest things when it happened to when it had anything to do with the legal system and the justice system. And
I'd
it
text
was-
her. I would
oh
text
my
her.
gosh.
Terrified. That'd be me.
Just hair
Freaking out.
tripping. So one time, and we talk about this on the show, and everybody watching, listening right now, fear. We talk about fear. Fear is. I don't know how to process fear. And there's Mama P.
Hey,
There's
Mama
Judge
P.
Clancy.
Hey,
Hey.
Judge Clancy.
All right, everybody, hashtag Clancy. Hashtag Clancy right now. Let's give me a hashtag Clancy. Good to see you. So that's what's so cool. Isn't that
I
cool?
know, it is.
And so, but anyways, Judge Bennett would text me or message me through Facebook on Friday. It said, hey, come by and see me Monday. And this is Friday, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like tripping, paralyzed, okay? And on top of that, my counselor, literal counselor, spiritual advisor, is overseas on vacation. And I'm texting her, and she's not responding. So she's overseas, the complete opposite time frame. And I did the dreaded 911. Okay, I'm an alcoholic. So she texted me immediately, what's going on? Now she's thinking, I go, Judge Bennett just texted me. She wants to see me on Monday. And she's like,
Don't forget
okay,
M2
that's,
Radio.
it's okay. And I'm like,
Monday through
okay,
Friday
it's
from
okay. I
7
haven't
p.m.
done
to 8
anything.
p.m.
I
and
showed up and
Saturdays
she just wanted to ask me questions and just say
on
what a
Talk
great job I'm
Radio
doing.
1190.
And here I am packing my bags going to the penitentiary.
Yeah, I said, no, I think I would have known.
Here we go, Joe Nestor. Welcome back, welcome back. Michael Molthan, Into the Rock Radio. We're coming to you live. I'm going to go radio voice. From Dallas, Texas, iHeart Studio, 1190 Talk Radio. Like that? Get better?
You're great.
Oh, ready? And we are the home of spiritual solutions. Come on, Miles.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Kim Gatlin.
Kim Gatlin.
Hello, my
There.
friend,
Kim
Kim
Harmon
Gatlin.
Gatlin. She
Yeah.
is an M2 God gangster. She was a guest on the show a long time ago. Huge supporter of the show. We love you, Kim Harmon
I
Gatlin.
know, and she's the best.
Oh, she's awesome.
I know.
She's so great. The queen of one of the. I love her post on social media.
The queen of I don't care what
I
anybody
don't
thinks about
care.
it.
She ain't playing. Kim Harmon Gatlin ain't playing. So, okay, what are we going to talk about today? We were talking in our break, and you can help me out with this. Okay, so I'm on the phone, and for people who are watching, it's the holiday season.
Right.
It's the holiday season. It feels different.
Right.
Okay?
It is different.
Why does it feel different? Why do I dread the holidays? I'm here to tell you, Michael Molthan, recovering drug addict, alcoholic for the first time in my life, okay? I am enjoying the holidays.
Hallelujah.
Yes, I don't dread it. I'm actually, number one, enjoying it. It's the first time in a long time I've been in the free world for the holidays.
And your chestnuts are roasting on that open fire, and you are loving it.
You're so stupid. My man Miles. But, oh, he snorted.
There's a snort.
There you go, 719 snort.
Watch out, I'm going to
So,
bump that rail pretty soon.
there you go. We're trying to teach Miles to do drug talk. He has no drug talk.
I know it.
He's such a normie. Take a bump. Take a bump. Can you ever, Michael, do you go take a bump?
All right, let's get back to
All right,
it.
anyways. So the holiday seasons, they're powerful.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of people are dreading it, Terry. So
Yeah.
we got people that Thanksgiving's coming up and they dread the holidays. Christmas is coming up, they dread the holidays.
Right.
I call this time of year the report card on how I am living my spiritual life.
Yeah.
If I'm spiritually fit, my side of the street is clean, it's my resentment checker. It's my fear checker, okay? Why do I feel so good today? What's different now than the last holidays, Terry? Let me tell you what the difference is.
Okay, what?
My side of the street is clean. I'm trusting God, I've cleaned house, and I'm helping others. I'm in solution, I'm out of self. I sleep good at night.
Let me tell you another thing you are. You are 100% honest.
That's
You're
Step
not,
one.
Yeah, you're honest. You are transparent. You are not perfect. You're a human being.
That's right.
But every day you wake up and you make a decision that you're going to turn your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand Him.
Come on.
And you keep following Him all day long. It's not just in the morning, but you keep turning that will over all day long.
And it's such a great high. And you know what I'm really enjoying? I am enjoying God. I'm learning that God allows, creates conflicts in my life so He can tell the world He's God.
Right.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and I've said on here before that I believe that God redeems all that He allows.
Everybody is loved. So let me ask you something. I was on the phone, a young person, and we're talking, and he's in the grips of this disease, Terry, all right? And he is mentioning that he wants to take his life.
Right.
Okay, as a suicide survivor, as an advocate for suicide survivors, and I want to be open about this conversation, okay? How do we handle that? It's a season now. Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to say, you know what? I don't want to live anymore.
Right. Well, it's hard. It is very hard because, number one, you never take any threat lightly. You must take it seriously. And yet, there's only so much you can do. You're not a healer. You're not God. And sometimes the best thing you can do is once you have expressed love, once you have asked the questions and you've stopped minding your own business, are you going to hurt yourself? Are you thinking of dying? Do you want to go away? Is there anything I can do for you? Can I help you? Do you have a plan? If you've asked all of those questions and the answer is whatever the answer is, if it's yes, then you can dial 911 and have them taken to the hospital because
Let's talk about that real
need
quick.
to go to the hospital.
Yeah, let's talk about that as an attorney, okay? I hear you. So literally say, okay, I'm a role play. All right, so you're telling me literally to get on the phone right now and call 911.
Right.
What do I tell them?
You want them to make a wellness check. You want them to go in and you're concerned about this person. You're afraid that they're going to die, and you can ask the police to do a wellness check for you. I've had to do that before, and they will go over there, and if they find that he or she is in very dire straits, they will take him to the hospital. They will not take him to jail. They'll take him to the hospital, and that's where he needs to be, and he needs to get help and to stabilize. And so that's sometimes what we have to do as loved ones. We have to make that phone call. If they've threatened suicide and you feel like they have the means, whether it's drugs, pills, guns, whatever the case may be, if they've got the means, you call 911, don't hesitate. And then they can be held for 72 hours, and in the meantime, you can help them.
You're buying time.
You're buying time. You put a pause on this situation, and then you can come up with a plan with their doctors, hopefully, to get them the help they need. But there's that pause. It's that wait a minute, you don't need to go there. We can get you help. Now, and they may be mad as a hornet, and I promise you they will be.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's better mad than dead.
You know, that leads to a question. You were saying earlier, you saw the red flags in regards to your late husband. Two questions. Was he under the influence
When he died?
when he died?
Yes, he was.
So it wasn't a snap decision. So what do you think it was a snap decision?
No.
You saw the red flags, but
No.
I guess my question is, do you think that he would be alive if he wasn't under the influence?
No. I think
He would still
he would have used the tool in his toolbox, and that oftentimes people walk around with in their entire life with a suicide tool in their toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
What does that
And
look like? What do you mean when you say that?
For some people, for whatever reason, whether they suffer from depression, whether the substance abuse causes depression or distorts their thinking, and see, depression distorts thinking. You have thinking errors. And so what they do is that is always an option for them. They walk around their lives, sometimes all of their life, with that option, and that option gives them incredible comfort. It is something they can always, it's their out. That if things get so hard and so rough for them, then they can use that tool and they will have an out. Now, what I did not pick up on the red flags because I didn't know what to look for. I do now. But and looking back in retrospect, I see them. They were waving all over the place. So I think that tool was always in his toolbox, and I don't think it would have mattered if he had been drinking or not. Mm-hmm. I think that basically would have happened anyway. But then again, see, that's the problem. I can't ask him.
Yeah.
And so when you can't ask those questions and you can't find out what those whys are from that person who's gone, you've got to turn around and find the whys out for yourself. What are my whys? What did I do? I did everything I possibly could that I knew how to do at the time. And, you know, they say you do the best you can, you learn more, you do better. And so that's why it's so important to get into recovery or into a 12-step group, because you especially with this kind of death, this suicidal death, as a suicide survivor, there's so much guilt, there's so much regret, there's so much you flog yourself with the whys and how come I didn't pick up on this. And there was a time, Miles, when I truly thought that I could have stopped him that night. If I'd only done X, I could have stopped it. Now, I may not have stopped it the next night, but for the longest time, I felt that way. And I don't know if that's right or not. Maybe. I know I stopped it before, but that night, I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do.
I'm listening through what you're saying. Is it fair to say it was going to happen? Obviously it did. But
well, oftentimes when circumstances get to the point where someone is losing their status in life,
mm-hmm.
and he was the elected district attorney, and someone had filed a removal suit against him. Our marriage, we were separated. Our marriage had just it had taken a toll on our marriage.
There was a lot of stuff going on.
And that is one thing too, when you stop minding your own business and you're watching your loved ones, that's one thing to look for, is what are the circumstances in their life? Where are they going? What's the pressure? And there's a balloon, there's a suicide pressure balloon. And you can see that balloon almost inflating with the crisis in their life. And what you need to do is release some of the pressure out of that balloon, and that is by asking the questions. Are you okay? Are you thinking about dying? Do you have a plan? And if they say yes, you dial 911.
Michael Molthan, M2 The Rock Radio with Terry Bentley Hill in studio. Awesome. One thing I want to touch on.
Can you not hear me?
We gotta just turn it this way so we can see your face just a little better.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Well, I want people to see my face.
Hey, Carter, do me a favor.
Why are you?
While you're sitting there, just go through and just pound a bite. I just want to see how that watch party works. Just for the rest, it's gonna just smash them all.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Carter, are we good with Terry?
We are.
Okay, good. Okay, everyone, really good stuff. Tough topic tonight. Jim, thank you. Hey, Officer Teddy Melton, Andrew Hager's partner.
Yeah.
Officer Teddy Melton's in the feed. Terry Bentley Hill, Teddy Melton. So
Hi, Teddy.
Teddy is an incredible sheriff in Boone County, and goes above and beyond and works outside of his deal to help the one who is struggling.
And so you agree, dial 911?
Dial 911. Teddy Melton for suicide. If anybody is threatening to hurt themselves or anything, he agrees. I'm not speaking for him. I'm sure he'll make a comment here. Yes, dial 911.
Yeah.
If there's doubt that somebody is going to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else,
Right.
that's what 911 is for.
Right.
Do it.
Right.
Do it, okay?
And God love our, our law enforcement. We ask a lot of them. We ask them to solve a lot of our problems, and they're undergoing a lot of training regarding mental health. People who are in a mental health crisis and what to do, and they do the compassionate thing oftentimes by taking them to the hospital and not to jail. And that's where they belong, is they belong in the hospital, not jail.
Danny Campbell, the official paparazzo of M2 The Rock Radio, on the feed right here. Danny, we got a friend here of yours doing a story on us on Dallas doing good Dallas. Just good Dallas.
Dallas is doing good.
Did I do it right?
Doing good.
Doing good Dallas. And
Dallas doing
yeah,
good.
so Danny, everybody in here is always putting Danny Campbell's name in their mouth. So Danny Campbell in the feed. Everybody say hello to the official paparazzo of M2 The Rock Radio, Danny Campbell. Danny Campbell says, talk about not to drink at holiday parties. Here's the great thing about recovery, all right? For me, the party is more important than the drink, okay? That's recovery. I don't see it today. I don't see it.
Right.
In fact, Mama P and I were every Sunday, no matter what, Saturday and Sunday, we go to Chili's and we eat lunch together. And we have our own VIP table at Chili's. They got us our own table. It's hilarious. So we sit there, and these people are sitting at the bar, okay? Sitting at the bar, and they're like drinking their beer like this. It's a sip, and they put it down just like that. And I like looking at them like going, drink it!
What's the matter with you all?
Quit playing with it. I mean, she's like, just barely sipping it and putting it down. And this beer lasted, she drank half the beer, paid her tab, and left.
Did you want to know if she
That's
was sick?
an illness.
You thought she was sick.
No one does that.
Yeah. You thought she was sick. Okay, one thing I'd like to talk about, if we could,
And
was
Saturdays
the conversation with these gentlemen.
on Talk Radio,
Okay.
1190.
These are the guys that are coming to town. Welcome back, welcome back. Michael Molthan, Into the Rock Radio, coming to you live. That's my man, Rim One. Rim One will be in studio Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Hey, so they're going to bring the guitar in. Joe Nestor's going to play Miles. Rim One, he's going to do like he did last. You know, that piece right there when he was in studio last time and he just literally, did you see that, Rim One? When he just literally, Miles started spinning a beat straight from the muscle. That's your brain.
Yeah.
He sat right here and did a 4.5 minute freestyle. I think it's already hit like almost 40,000 views on Facebook. And he went 4 minutes on a freestyle about this show.
I would have to rehearse that for years.
It was unbelievable.
Hey, man, I can't even make a gingerbread house for you.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I mean, Miles,
I
talk
am
about
so
pitiful.
selfish. All right, so
You are not selfish.
No, but so I forgot about that. So Cynthia Smoot, when I was in
You wouldn't have
Florida,
the show if he wasn't selfish.
when I was in Florida, okay, I see this picture. Cynthia Smoot, who's our PR agent, she gets together with Reliant Energy, okay, at the Arboretum.
Yes.
And she calls in, because I'm out of town, calls Terry Bentley Hill in. She says, listen, we're going to go build a gingerbread house to raise money for M2381.
Yes.
Terry, tell us what happened.
All right, so I show up in my, business suit, and the first thing they said is, you're going to get icing all over that suit. And I was like, man, that's what I do for the cause. That's it. So, all right, so I pushed up my sleeves, and I was nervous. I was shaking because I lack I lack any kind of confidence. I'm terrible at this stuff. My poor kids, we try to do this. You should have seen the stuff we put out when they were little. I can't do that. That's not where my skills are.
You
But
never
man,
had an easy bake oven from Santa, did you?
I did not. No, I wanted a football and I wanted a baseball bat. I did not
and
want
you
an
had your
oven.
Kung Fu grip.
But I felt so sorry for Cynthia. She drew the short straw when she got me to help her with the gingerbread house.
So I've been traveling all day, and I see this post on Facebook, and there's this beautiful picture of Cynthia Smoot and Terry Bentley Hill, and they've got this gingerbread house, M2381, and the money that they raised for that. I literally was in my hotel, and I got tears in my eyes.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And I'm like going, a year ago this time, I'm homeless walking on a street. And now I got the biggest criminal defense attorney and Cynthia Smoot, out of all people, this big PR person, building a freaking gingerbread house, raising money for me.
Go on my Facebook page. You'll see
It
how
is so
wonderful
cool.
it was.
It was so cool.
Wink,
So,
wink.
Thank you so much.
I loved it.
Yeah,
It was fun.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. That was fun. I'm glad she asked me.
Hey, let's talk about what you and I talked about on the phone today about this event, this gathering you went to. I'll let you talk about it.
Well, I went to an event last night where I love it because people get up and they tell their story and they're real honest and transparent, like I was talking about you. And one of the things is they were talking about their depression and how several of these people had. It was a meeting on gratitude, and they were grateful they were alive because they had thought about taking their life. And one of them said one of the reasons why he didn't is because he's heard my story and how my husband's suicide affected my daughter. And oftentimes when a parent suicides, it opens a door for a child to walk through. And
You
so
said that today, and I never even thought of that. This is good. Go.
Yeah, in fact, I have a friend by the name of Janice Gant. She's a therapist, and she put it this way. She said when a client comes into her office and they're suicidal, they're depressed, she'll ask them this question. She'll say, tell me this, what would you do and how would you feel if your child died by suicide? And they usually answer, oh my gosh, it would devastate me. It would kill me. I couldn't stand it. And she said, okay, well, you can kill yourself if you want to, but let me tell you what you're doing. you're basically wrapping up a present for that child and putting in a note in that child's present and handing it to that child. And what that note says is that I'm giving you permission to kill yourself. It's what happens when a parent dies by suicide, is a child then has an option that they may not walk through. So that's what I tell any parent, any man or woman, is that I know life is hard. I know it is a very dark place, and I know your brain is not working right, and you need help, and you've got to trust us to help you get that help. But there are solutions, and you don't have to die, because when you do make that decision, you are opening a door for your child. Is that what you want?
So when you say opening a door, okay, I hear you. Does that mean that it's making it look
It's
easy?
an option.
It's an option. Okay,
It's an option.
so I'm taking that the
Yeah.
way you're saying that.
Yes.
It's like, it's like, oh man, if mom can do it, I can do it.
Monkey
Correct.
see, monkey do.
There you
right?
go.
It's
Yeah.
an option.
Okay, so I'm taking that correctly.
Yes.
I never thought of that. It's
You know,
kind of-
Terry, when you went through what you did with your late husband, did that pull your family closer, or was it really difficult to at first?
Wow, good question.
Yeah, there was a total implosion by mom.
Okay.
So
Which is understandable,
yes.
obviously.
And, I had the 4 little girls. They were 10, 8, 6, and barely 5. And so as I was imploding, I had a responsibility to my daughters. And so I had to get up out of bed. I had to get them breakfast. I had to get them to school, but I didn't feel like it. And that's what depression does, is it takes all of your energy. It takes all of your desire. It is like a ball and chain around your feet, around your waist, around your neck. You're dragging it along, and unless you get help for that depression, then for people like me who are diagnosed with depression, I can't will myself out of that. There's situational depression, and then there's clinical depression. And you can't will yourself out of clinical depression because the chemicals in your brain are not operating correctly. And so I had to do 3 things, and studies have shown this, that for depression recovery, it's like a 3-legged stool. You oftentimes need medication, which I did. You need peer support, which is a 12-step group, which I went into, and the Suicide Crisis Center, by the way, has an 8-week survivors of suicide group for people who are experiencing suicide. And then I also had to have cognitive behavior therapy because, see, I blamed myself. I thought that I had way more power than I have. My problem is that I have tried to fix everything for everybody, all of their lives, all of my life. I was raised in a situation where I felt like I could fix people, and that was either by altering my own behavior. This goes into that codependency, altering my behavior.
So you feel that you failed when that happened?
Yeah, there's a sense of my self-worth just went through the floor because, and especially when my daughter Hallie died, to be perfectly honest, the first thing I thought of is I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. My own daughter didn't love me enough to stay on this earth. That's what I dealt with for the longest time.
Goodness gracious.
How about
Yes.
her sisters?
Oh,
They had to do that all over again. Or they had to witness that all over again, and
Yes.
this time, with a sister.
exactly. I can't even begin to describe.
And you had to do it. And you had to do it all over again, and you had to pull the family again together.
Right. And fortunately, I was married to my husband at the time that Hallie died.
Okay.
So fortunately, thank God for that.
You had a rock.
I had a rock,
Yeah.
and I still do have a rock.
Yes, he's
and
amazing.
He walked into a family, Miles, of 5 really hurting women, and he has been a stabilizing force in all of our lives. However, I can remember, this is what trauma does to us. It gets frozen in the right part of our brain. And I could tell you exactly what I was doing in 1995, the night that their father died, what I was wearing. I could tell you what the weather was like. I could tell you everything about that. And I could tell you 9 years later exactly what I was doing and exactly what I was reading and exactly what I was wearing when that phone call came in that Hallie had died. And then the thought I had was, I have to tell my daughters this has happened again. And the first time I just prayed, God, give me the words to tell these girls that their father had died, and then to have to do it again. It needless to say, I've often wondered, I wish that I could write a book about what traumatic events, what they do to a person's life, to a family.
What do they do?
Well, my theory is that you could be trucking along, and then something happens, whether it's a car accident or it's a cardiac arrest or somebody dies or there's a suicide or someone's killed, walking across the street, whatever. That going along the path takes a right turn. And everybody is floundering. And trying to find your way back is a long process. And my advice to people when you're going through this is to let go of expectations. And what I mean by that is the minute that happened, my life wasn't going to be a normal life. What does that mean? My daughters were going to go to high school. They were going to graduate from high school. They were going to go to college. They were going to get a job. They were going to meet a man. They were going to get married. They were going to have babies. That was my expectation, and that's what I was working towards. That all changed. All of my expectations changed. They are on their own journey. They are not on my journey. They are going to do it on their time. They're going to heal on their time. They're going to deal with their own isms on their time, and it's their recovery and it's their healing. I can't do it for them. I'm not a healer. I am not their God.
My girl, Terry Bentley Hill, she's bar spitting, she's hard hitting. We'll be right back. My girl. Woo! Give you a hug. Bring it in.
I know, I need a hug.
You're so awesome. Whoa, I love when the Spirit's moving in here.
Thank you.
I love it when the Spirit's
The
moving in here.
Spirit moves in here when we get
Yes,
in here.
it does. It does. Everybody, welcome to the show. My man, B Rain. I see B Rain in the feed. B Rain's in the feed.
B Rain is in the feed.
B Rain is watching Terry Bentley Hill right now.
B Rain, I can't hear you because they blew my eardrums just right to pieces.
Hey, we're going to do a deal here. We did on the last show, we did hashtag about putting the name in your mouth. Here's what I want to do here. We're going to do... Where's that coming from? Okay, yeah, just turn it down for just 1 second. Thank you. Okay, this is what we're going to do, guys. I want y'all to look at a name in the comments.
Yeah.
Find a name and say hello to them. In the comments. So, for example, hello, Melissa Holland. Hello, Paula. Let's practice getting out of self. Say hello to someone.
I love
Just reach out there. Say hello to someone in this community, this great community that we got working in the comments, okay?
We're
And
all
let's
in it
see
together.
that.
We really are all in this together. We cannot do this on our own. I'm convinced of that. It takes a community of caring, thoughtful people who have the same purpose, and that is to save people's lives and to get better.
Yeah.
And, there are some other things that we can talk about. I really want to address my good friend's cousin died on Christmas Day, and she's about to experience that, Julie.
Yeah,
And
I saw her comment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you know what? So we have these mile markers of holidays that come in, all right? Guess what? The enemy wants us to be in pain on these mile markers.
Right.
It's a day of celebration. It's so easy for me to say, okay? But try it. This is a day of celebration where this person, and I said this last time, look at, when we talked on the phone today, okay? I was going to say this for the thing. Look at all the lives that Danny
Yeah,
and Haley
yeah,
have saved, have touched.
right.
That's what God does. He takes this stuff and spins it. He says, Satan, I'll trump you again.
Well, and I've got my friend Sally Long. She's I guess she's watching, and her sister is Grace Longcar, and Grace Longcar, I know for a fact, has impacted and saved people's lives. I mean, even in her death.
And I've seen a lot of Sue's. I'm glad you mentioned. I didn't want to mention anything. I know you are very close, but Sue, this is her time of year.
Yes, it is.
And I've been watching her post, and she's working through it.
And why do you see that? I post.
Here we go. John.
Okay.
All right.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from noon to 1 p.m. on Talk Radio 11.
Morning Jewelry, Fashion Stars for a Cause, and in studio, the official defense criminal attorney of M2 The Rock Radio. I'm going to put her on blast real quick in the comments, all right? Her link to her Facebook page, her website is all in here. If you need to hire her for your sir, she's the best.
Right.
She is the best. So what a great,
I am good at what I do.
Yes, she is.
I'm just gonna say I'm good at what I do.
She is very good at what you do. So we ended the last segment. We were talking off air, and if you're joining us, we were talking about how Danny, Haley, you ready? Mama P, you ready?
Yeah.
TJ, Travis, these losses that we have, look how God has spun these things to His glory to change people's lives.
And there's purpose for the suffering. There has to be purpose for the suffering. The suffering is so devastating and so hard. And my friend Sue, you're right. This is the time of year where she lost both her daughter and her husband, and it is devastating. And oftentimes you'll see people who have lost loved ones, especially to suicide. I've noticed. Of course, I would notice that just because it fits.
That's your
my
radar.
life. Right.
That's your radar.
But people post photographs of their loved ones on Facebook because you want people to grieve with you. You want a community of grieving, and that's what Facebook has done. There have been people who have been able to reach out, strangers reach out and say, I love you, and I'm sorry. And it is comforting.
Yes.
There is a community of grievers on Facebook.
I don't mean to sound rotten in this saying, but in this case, misery likes company.
Yeah.
And in that case, when someone's out there saying, hey, I'm sad and this and that, you don't want someone to roll their eyes and go,
right,
suck it up.
No, you
So
don't.
in that case, misery loves company.
Yeah, in a sense.
I can relate
I know
to
what
that.
You're saying.
That's what I'm not talking about,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and this is a thing too. I have this very good friend, and her cousin took her life on Christmas morning. And she has been devastated. It's been a year. She's coming up on the year. And
This is her 1 year?
yeah, this
Oh,
is her
wow.
1 year. And oftentimes it feels, and I'm going to address something, the perception that suicide is selfish. What a therapist told me is that when a person decides they're in that very dark tunnel, they're in a lot of pain, and they're tired, whatever they are, that oftentimes they think everyone will be better off without them. They're convinced. Every fiber in their body thinks that everybody will be better off without them, that they will be better off, and that by taking their life, they will provide relief for the loved ones. It'll be a lot less expensive, whatever the case may be. They just think that the problem will go away for their loved ones. So if you look at it that way, it's more of a selfless act instead of a selfish act.
That word selfish, and especially for an addict that's active in the disease, when people used to tell me that, Terry, they say, Michael, you're selfish.
Yeah.
This is what I heard.
Yeah.
Michael, you're a bad person.
Right.
That's what I heard. And that's not what that means.
No, and I think it's the same thing with, depression as someone who has been diagnosed with depression, I don't want to hear people saying, when they don't know my disease or my situation, I hear them talking about other people.
Right.
And they do the rolling of the eyes,
Right.
and it's like, oh, they're just looking for attention and this and that puts me back even deeper into
Yes.
my shell.
Yes.
And you have to understand what someone is going through.
Right.
And every individual is different.
That is so true.
Okay, so what you just said there, Miles, that's why there's support groups. Support groups, you surround yourself with like-minded people that can relate to what I'm struggling with. Like I go to support groups for alcoholism and drug addiction, all right? They're like-minded people because alcohol and drugs is only a symptom. That's
Yeah.
just an external expression of an inward problem.
Right.
And for me, I was spiritually bankrupt, all right? So what is, if you're out there listening right now, Terry, if someone's listening out there, what Miles just said there, okay, I've heard this show, I've been listening to y'all for 50 minutes, I feel depressed, okay? What do I do? The first thing to do, the first step in any recovery is, number one, is to get honest. Okay, that sounded cool, M2, so what does that mean? Getting honest is simply reaching out to someone saying, I'm sad. And Terry, I don't know why I'm sad, okay? Terry, I'm hopeless today. I live in this great house. I got a great job. I got a great family. And I'm just hoping, why do I feel this way?
Right. You know, the highest ranking admiral in the services just took his life. I mean, depression is an illness that can be fatal.
Well, you said something earlier that was really interesting to me, is situational depression. Explain, not only to our listeners, but explain to me what you mean by that.
Yeah, good question.
Well, for example, something.
My father passed away 7 years ago on Christmas Eve. Is that
Oh, God love
situational?
Well, it depends because it can be.
Okay.
You can go through maybe 6 months of grieving or a year of grieving and counseling, and then you can feel the lightness come back into your life. The heaviness goes away and the lightness will come back. That can be situational depression. If that continues, if you are really struggling and if you're doing things to medicate, which means you could be isolating, you could be people throwing themselves into novels. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I read and read and read and read when I was really depressed. It is a kind of an escapism. And if this goes on for a period of time, you very much need to go see a doctor because, Miles, I suffered for 5 years thinking I had situational depression. And finally, my therapist said, Terry, you don't have to live like this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you don't have to live like this. Go to a psychiatrist, a doctor of the brain, by the way, not your internist and not your OBGYN. Go to the psychiatrist, the doctor of the brain, so you can be diagnosed and you don't have to live this way. Your chemicals in your brain aren't working right, and you can't make them work right. And so what I was going to respond back to you, like you say, when people roll their eyes or go, oh, he's just crazy or whatever those words are, that this is the solution, in my opinion. People like you just told your story. You told your story. You've experienced depression. I'm telling my story. Yes, I have depression. I couldn't say that for the longest time. I have anxiety. I have anxiety because I will bite my fingernails at times. I am dealing with that. I'm in depression remission because I'm treating it. Michael tells his story. The more people who tell their story and become honest, the more free and the more open other people are going to be because there's such a stigma and there's such shame around these behavioral health issues.
Still.
Isn't
it amazing?
Yes.
Still.
And that's why we stop minding our own business. That's why, because oftentimes when people are sick with depression for sure, they don't even know they're sick.
I think we know more about mental health nowadays than we did even 15, 20 years ago.
Without a doubt.
But there's still a stigma.
Yes, there is. Mm-hmm. And you people are afraid to admit it at work. They don't know if it'll cost them their job.
Yeah.
Sometimes our self-worth is wrapped around what we do, not who we are. I mean, and so they don't want people to know that maybe they're flawed, that they're a human being. So when you can let go of that and be okay with who you are, that I'm just Terry Hill, I'm a human being and I'm imperfect, but I am who I am, and I'm okay with that, and I'm not Superwoman, I'm just who I am, then I can let go of a lot of those entrapments that kept me silent for the longest time. I lived
Well, you were spinning how many plates? I mean, you had all these kids, and then all of a sudden, you're doing it alone.
Right.
You know, the soccer practices, the breakfast, the dinners,
the Christmas, the getting
and your
ready
profession.
for Christmas. Yes, that was the hardest thing. I had to put all the Christmas toys out. I had to do it all by myself.
Real quickly,
Esther.
how is Christmas now for your kids, with your kids? I mean, is it do they look back at, especially your 5-year-old, I guess there's, at the time, 5 years old.
Right.
I mean, is there still memories there? Or?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there are memories, but you know, when they were little, you know, children can find joy and they did, but no, there's always that feeling of something's missing, especially with Hallie. You know, I write a note every year. I write a note and put it in Hallie's stocking. I still hang her stocking up, and that's what I do. Is I just write a note.
Mama P sent me a picture, and she's got Travis's stocking up. She sent me a picture, so and that's healing.
They're gone, but they are not forgotten.
Terry Bentley Hill, another great show.
I know. I love you.
Another great show. And for everyone who is joining us, tomorrow night's encore show, Texas Tech basketball, will be live here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Special show Saturday. We got Joe Nestor, B. Rain, Rim 1. And just remember, guys, I got 3 words. I got 8 letters. It's one meaning, Terry Bentley Hill. What's that mean?
I love you.
That's what's up. Y'all good? Have a good night.
And you know what? Merry Christmas. I won't be back on the air, I don't think, until after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I love you all.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I know.
Happy New Year. And everybody on Facebook, thank you for jumping back on. Look, everybody jumped back on. We lost connection again just for a little bit. So I don't know what happened. We'll figure it out, guys. We will figure it out. So that's 2 nights in a row. So something we gotta find this glitch. We will find it. But thank you. Look at them all jumping back on. So we appreciate your dedication. Terry Bentley Hill, check her out. Go to her website. Everyone who's jumped on, I see someone here about great show, M2 Come to Indy. We're working on that. We're working on a trip to Indianapolis as we speak. So we'll be going to there. So
awesome.
Love you guys. Y'all have a great night.
I know. Good night.